Good afternoon, Niner faithful. Big Niner win today. Fantastic to take home that victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Absolutely helps the 49ers in solidifying their positioning in the playoffs. Now having tiebreakers against three of those teams that sit there at that 6-7 mark or worse. Yes, the 49ers do appear to be playoff bound, as Bebop Jones correctly points out. That was a great all-around win. The 49ers did what you expected them to do against a team that was lesser competition. Admittedly, I thought this one was going to play out close. My prediction was 27-20. And as the 49ers came out of the gate, hit that fumble on that opening kickoff, man, I thought for sure this one was going to go down to the wire. Against better teams, the 49ers cannot take those mistakes that they're having on special teams. If we were playing anyone other than Atlanta, this one could have been a lot tighter, but we got the W. The Dark Knight correctly points out the 49ers walking away with a big W in this one. It is big. Nick Bosa creating havoc. Couldn't agree more, Silent Seth, that indeed he should get the Defensive Player of the Year. It is absolutely a dominating performance by Nick Bosa this season. Niner faithful on to Tennessee. 4 days. 4 days. And yes, 4 days. And I'm wondering the same thing, David. David comes in saying, why was Debo running the ball inside 2 minutes with an 18-point lead? Why was Thomas matched up one-on-one against Pitts? Why was Key flagged? Was he supposed to contort his body? A lot of questions coming out of this one, but we are celebrating a win. We are celebrating a W that puts the 49ers at 8-6. 8-6, baby, with a real shot at winning out in this season. I mean, it is not out of the realm of possibility that the 49ers win this week coming up against Tennessee. It looks like Julio Jones may be out. It certainly appears that Derrick Henry will still be out. This sets up nicely. Archie coming in to say his prediction was close, 34-17. Yes, indeed, very close. Caleb, it was nice to see the Niners are capable of a win like this. Yes, you have to be able to take lesser competition like the Atlanta Falcons and win handily. I don't know that this victory was as convincing as you would have liked to have seen. There were still some mistakes that occurred, but better that they happened here against lesser competition. The 49ers have time to continue to shore these things up. Again, I continue to ask for a few snaps for Trey Lance. I know that angers some 49ers fans. I tweeted that out and got that response on Twitter that it's like, hey, stop talking about Trey. This is Jimmy's time. And I agree with that. It is Jimmy's time. And I do want Jimmy to start. And Jimmy is playing well. And I want him to continue being efficient. I pointed out that if you're going to take one play and give it to Debo as a trick play where he throws it into the end zone, throws it into the back of a cornerback, that's an opportunity to bring in Trey Lance. That's an opportunity to get him snaps. And I got the response of, well, we don't need to get him snaps, right? That's just garbage time. That's not going to help us in the playoffs. That's where I feel like the opinion is off. I believe that we at times as an offense, the 49ers, stagnate. You see it on several 3-and-outs. I mean, let's be honest that Atlanta had a chance to claw back into this one. Had they opted for field goals instead of 4-and-out in the red zone, this one could have felt a lot tighter toward the end. It would have felt a lot tighter if we were playing better competition than the Atlanta Falcons. Therefore, the 49ers need something to spark them on offense. I see it as an opportunity to get Trey in there, and it's no ill will, no poor reflection on Jimmy when I say that. I am fired up. That is a dub, Karthik. That is a win. Absolutely a win. Pirate coming in 3 goal line stands today. The defense balled out. Yes, it did. Matt Cook and Smoke Sports, great win. Firing it up. Thomas Luttrell, can't wait to see a healthy Wilson Jr. and Mitchell, the missile, sharing the lead duties. I tell you what, Jeff Wilson Jr. is coming closer to his pre-injury form. What you saw from him today was impressive. Going through some of the individual performances in this one, Jimmy Garoppolo, 18 of 23, 235 yards, a 10.2 yard average with a touchdown, no picks, and no sacks. As soon as you heard that Dante Fowler wasn't 100% warming up for this game, you knew they were going to have a hard time getting after Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll tell you what, though, I did not predict that the 49ers would come out of this one completely clean with 0 sacks on Jimmy G. On the other side of the ball, we got home 3 times. That Arden Key wipeout sack was just garbage. The penalty, what is he supposed to do? How is he supposed to contort himself in midair? He just tackled Matt Ryan. Honestly, the NFL has to change that rule. The refs are put in a terrible position to try and regulate those plays, officiate those plays. That should have been 4 sacks. I said at 3.5 sacks for the over-under, I would smash the over. We didn't hit it because of that bogus penalty, but it is what it is. Jeff Wilson Jr., 21 carries, 110 yards, 5.2 yard average, and a touchdown for Jeff Wilson Jr. Amazing. Deebo Samuel, 6 carries, could have saved a couple of those. 6 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. I would have rather had 4 carries for 23 yards instead of those last couple of carries. I don't know, honestly. I don't know what Kyle is thinking in that situation, not resting Deebo Samuel, not playing someone like a JaMychal Hasty or Brian Allen, for that matter, to bring him in. Brian Hill, I should say, not Brian Allen. Could have brought in Brian Allen at cornerback, right? George Kittle, another stellar performance, 6 receptions, 93 yards, shaking off tacklers. I mean, just balling out there. Deebo with another 4 receptions for 60 yards to add into his 29 yards rushing. Good day for Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk, a quiet day, 1 for 36. So this is what I'm looking at and saying, okay, with a team like Atlanta, where we had all day to throw, it would be nice if we had been able to capitalize a bit more, shown a bit more dominance. I am thrilled with the 3 catches for Jawan Jennings, getting him involved. He only had the 1 critical drop early in the game that stalled a drive, but he did have that big touchdown at the end. I mean, great team performance. JaMychal Hasty with the fumble at the beginning. Wow, that was a painful way to start. That was not the way in which you want to begin a game against a team that has very little life. We gave them life, but we were able to overcome it. That is huge. Absolutely huge. I agree, Eric Schultz. Nick Bosa should be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Should be in the running for Comeback Player of the Year. If he continues this dominance, I do believe he will he will beat Alden Smith's sack record that sits at 19.5, and he will earn one of those 2 awards. Milf Hunter coming in with the super chat. Is that Tomlinson with Trench Warfare shirt? Yes, it is. That is Tomlinson. That is Laken Tomlinson with the Trench Warfare shirt. It felt fitting because the trenches were dominant for the 49ers on both sides of the ball. Karthik playing for the fantasy win. Hey, Deebo got some fantasy points in those last 2 minutes, so I'm fine with it. CT Law is more on the side of Deebo carrying the ball with a minute left, trying to milk the clock, and you're giving it to Deebo. I have to question that. I'm not going to nitpick. This is a win. We are celebrating, but that is a strange play call in my book. Jason Walsh, I hear that, Karthik. Why would we even take that chance? That's what I'm saying. Emmanuel, even the announcer didn't understand why Deebo was at running back on that last drive. Thomas coming in at Rob Shue. Is Arden Key the other player we've been waiting for to step up and help Bosa? It sure seems like it. I hope that whatever he did to his arm at the end, I heard he limped off the field a little bit, was favoring his arm. I saw that on Twitter. I hope that he is fine because he is applying the pressure from the interior that we haven't been getting consistently from Eric Armstead, for example. The kind of consistency rushing from the interior that we have not gotten from Kevin Givens and other role players. I love what Arden Key is bringing. The physicality, absolutely big contributions. Jan pointing out Kyle wanted sure hands. That is nitpicking. Hey, that could be a fair call out that it's nitpicking. I don't want to nitpick a win. And I think it's fair to say, let's just run this thing out. They're not coming back down 18 points at the end. Yes. Emmanuel, hey guys, did the live start or are we still waiting? The live has started. We are in the live. The live is going. Jason Walsh, God forbid the game was already over. Shaking my head. Great win. Yes. Archie, the defense looks slow without Bosa. Bosa is a one-man wrecking crew. Bosa is responsible for this defensive line. Without him in there, it is a significant drop-off. I mean, we don't have the other bookend to play opposite of Bosa, right? You're not seeing from Samson Ebukam. You are not seeing from Jordan Willis. You are not seeing Charles Omenihu, any consistency on that other side. So when Nick Bosa is out, now you're filling both of those bookends with players not named Nick Bosa. The drop-off is substantial. The drop-off is very substantial from a pass rush standpoint. We are still stout against the run along the line, thankfully. Jan, I think Shanny used the starters as a way to finish out the game and play all 4 quarters. Agreed, it's just rough to do that with 4 games until the next start. A physical game, flying cross country to play Tennessee. Nick, I think the team came away without any injuries, which is a bonus as well. That would be huge if we came out unscathed, again, because of the fact that it is a quick turnaround. A big game coming up against Tennessee. Karthik, Fred Warner is made up for that disappointing start to his season. He is making up for it. He definitely is. I don't think it was all that disappointing to start the season. I believe what we saw from Fred Warner was consistent play at middle linebacker, good coverage, just missing all of the big plays, missing any forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, any interceptions. He was missing any of those splash plays. And that's what I think people key in on because he had been so good at it in 2020. But I thought he was solid this year, now is emerging. All right, Milf Hunter, Ambry Thomas got his interception stolen from him. He's weak. He did struggle in that one. I'm not going to call him weak. He definitely struggled in that. He struggled in finishing a lot of those plays. But let's celebrate the guy for being in position. That's half the battle. He's a rookie. He's going to get better. His technique is going to get better. His hand fighting is going to get better. But he's not getting burned. He's not completely out of position. I am celebrating that as a win and counting on the fact that he can get those other elements up in his game. Yes. Here we go. Joe Mama, fellow sneakerhead. I told you Jawan Jennings deserved targets, Rob. I knew it. Yes, you called it. Jawan Jennings is a beast. I talked about it earlier on my show, earlier this week. I think he's a grown-ass man, and he plays like it. He plays like it in the run-blocking game, and he plays like it in the pass-catching game. The only critique of him today was the drop pass early that stalled the drive. Pirate, special teams has been looking terrible this season. Good thing the offense and defense were able to ball out today to make up for it. Do you think Hightower should be on the chopping block? I don't think it's Hightower's issue. The 49ers have not invested enough in special teams. We need a dedicated returner. We need a couple of dedicated gunners. The Patriots under Belichick do this often. Look at Slater, I think it is their core special teamer, has been there for years, and they pay him accordingly just to have one extremely solid player on special teams. And you see return guys, return specialists around the league. The 49ers are really missing that. Simon, the annoying thing to me about that roughing the passer was that it's called on a QB when a defender falls on him. But when 3 defenders collapse on Kittle, that's okay. His health is just as important. It is, but they have prioritized the quarterback above all else. It's just wild. How do you stop yourself from falling on Matt Ryan in that play? It's unreal to me. Unreal. That was me cheersing myself there. Unreal. I can't understand what they expect Arden to do in that one. CT Law, 98% we make the playoffs. Now, if we face Tampa, we need to fix the secondary or Brady picks us apart. Yes, you either have to chop it off at the head and get after Brady because you know he doesn't respond to being hit constantly and often. Hard to do with his quick release, with his mental game, but it's possible. or you need significantly better play on the outsides. Jan, the more attention we have on other players on the D-line, the less pressure we have on Bosa. Man, that is the truth. That is the truth. Jason Walsh, man, so glad we have breathing room now. Moving forward, it will be tough on a short week, but we are rolling. Yes, the momentum is with us. Yes, it is. Jan points out we might end the season playing for the division. It's possible, folks. Arizona lost to Detroit today. They are capable of losing to anyone. Silent Seth complimenting Tom Compton. Tom Compton looked nice out there. Tom in the run blocking. Chris coming in with the super chat. I will definitely nitpick having your starters out there. Up 3 scores on a short week could have been a potential disaster. Chris, I'm with you on that one. I hope that someone asks Coach Shanahan about that in the presser because it's a weird decision. Very strange. If you're up 1 score, I get it. Up 3, odd decision. Archie at Rob, I'm really concerned with the corners. Thankfully, it was not targeted as much. I'm seeing good, positive things from Ambry Thomas, and we will hit on that this week. Just because he got a lot of balls completed on him today does not tell the entire story, if you're asking me. There is nuance that must be taken into account, when evaluating the game that Ambry Thomas played today. Sal, Flanagan Foles and Marcel Harris did solid today. Defense came to play. They were flying around to the ball. There was some good tackling that occurred, some very hard hitting by the 49ers, some tone setting against the Atlanta Falcons. That is what was needed in order to steal their souls and take this game. Take away all their hope. Take away all their promise. All those hopes of the playoffs for Atlanta, boop, gone. Emmanuel Thomas struggled, but his position was okay every time. Give him time to grow. I'm willing to forgive every single mistake he makes as a rookie. Emmanuel, this is where I am at. I am in complete agreement. Well, I don't know if I forgive every mistake he makes, but I forgive him in that he's a rookie. And I'm with you 1,000%. He was in position. He needs time to grow. This is why he should have been getting playing time earlier in the season, but why I'm glad he's getting playing time now, especially against a team like Atlanta that we were able to overcome. Connor, Juwan had 4 drops today? Man, I did not keep track of that. Thank you for pointing that out, Connor. I thought it was 1, maybe 2. I'll be looking at the stats for that one. Thank you, Connor, for bringing it in. MILF Hunter with the super chat. Juwan Jennings is a red zone beast, but had 2 drops. All right, 2 drops I can live with. That's closer to what I saw, but Connor's coming in with 4 drops. We shall see what the official stat is later, especially when I go in and watch the film. Victor Mendoza, great game by the 49ers. Fred Warner played a great game as well. Bosa with a big sack, and what a great addition of Arden Key. I mean, Chris Kocurek just continuing to coach up players. It is unreal, the production he gets out of the defensive line. Let's look at 9 total tackles for Fred Warner. You know he had the fumble recovery as well. Great play by Fred Warner. He is back. Not that he ever really left, but he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Summerlin has joined the Sneakerhead community. If you want to join the Sneakerhead community and become a member of the channel to support, as many do, hit the join button that appears after the subscribe button is gone, and you too can become a Sneakerhead. Jan, cornerbacks are supposed to give up plays. There's a handful of shutdown corners in the whole league. Yeah, we do not have a shutdown corner and don't need one with our pass rush. We need capable coverage, and I believe Thomas can provide that. Caleb Tipton, offense, defense, and play calling was great. But that kickoff coverage and returning is concerning. I'm more concerned with the return coverage. That is atrocious. That is on Hightower. The fumble, maybe not so much. Jermichael Hasty, not our full-time returner. It is what it is. A helmet on the football oftentimes pops out that ball. That's not totally shocking to me, but continuing to give up the inability to kick it into the end zone and then getting these returns that are consistently to the 30, 35, 40, that's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. The return unit has to be better. The coverage unit has to be better. Jason Ells is celebrating. Let's go, Niners. Yes. Gerardo, that was a very fast game. Jones, Key, and Bosa looking very good. It was. I mean, heck, we got into this thing right about 4 o'clock. A 3-hour game, 2 hour and 55 minutes. That is a short game. Went by quick because the 49ers held on pretty strong throughout. Dizza Scraps. Watching that Frank Gore versus Deron Williams was hard to watch, but respect to Coach Harbaugh for showing up in support. I didn't watch it, and I am glad. I saw some of the stuff on Twitter, and that just makes me feel for Frank. I'm glad to hear that Harbaugh was there in support. Karthik, Garoppolo had so many touchdowns today, I lost count. It was 1 touchdown, not a whole lot. I'm guessing that was sarcasm there. But yes, we did have a rushing touchdown from Jeff Wilson Jr., a rushing touchdown from Deebo Samuel, and a big rushing touchdown from 6 yards out from the man, Kyle Juszczyk. Indeed, we did. Here we go. D linemen need to be wizards so they can levitate over the quarterback. That freaking call was just atrocious. Atrocious. Nick, even Isaac Newton was turning in his grave on that Arden Key call. You can't argue with gravity. It was just a tackle, and they hit him with a freaking 15-yarder. Unbelievable. Jason Ells coming in. I'm glad that the Niners put the Falcons away. I was nervous that they would be looking ahead to Thursday and not have won. They did not, and now we can look forward to Thursday. Now we celebrate and look forward. Tony, our newest sneakerhead, great game, baby. Let's go, Niners. Checking in from PC, Florida. Welcome, Tony. Welcome. Emmanuel, now, Mitch Wishnowsky. I've loved him since that tackle versus Denver in 2019 preseason. But man, his consistency in kicking short when a long one is needed and vice versa drives me insane. We need a kicker with a bigger leg for kickoffs. It's because we have an elderly kicker in Robbie Gould that kicks our field goals, and he's not a great leg. And Mitch, for all his directional prowess, is not a power kicker either. We need to bring someone in that can kick it into the end zone. It's unbelievable. Steve-O, totally agree. Ambry's a rook. He'll get there. He has been in position. That is critical, really critical. Victor calling out, Jeff Wilson ran the ball hard. What a game by Wilson. Yes, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. Jeff Wilson Jr. seems to be re-emerging as the threat that the 49ers need alongside Elijah Mitchell and the complement of Deebo Samuel coming out of the backfield. Those three together make up a very formidable rushing attack. Add in a little bit of juice every now and then. Hello. Silent Seth pointing out, hit those likes, y'all. We got 100 people here. Yes, we do. We got about 150. I appreciate it when you guys hit the likes. It helps me amplify my signal. You hear me say that a lot. I feel like I'm a little pirate radio station here in Portland. And you guys help me get it out there for the whole world to see. We got international people up in here. Aaron Paul, I'm not a big Jimmy guy, but what a great game by Jimmy today. So efficient. Jason Ells, Thomas played well today. Those were great passes and catches. He was in great position. He just needs to learn to play the ball, and he will get that with experience. I'm telling you, that I am on board with that. The Dark Azrael. After this game, should Matt Ryan retire? I don't know. We should ask Lowell Cone. Lowell Cone has a terrible opinion of Matt Ryan, and it may be fitting that he just doesn't like him. And I love it. It's a great fire. Go follow him on Twitter. Quality follow there. Real quality follow. Connor coming in to say Tennessee got whooped today, too. It was a last-minute comeback by the Pittsburgh Steelers, correct? They were down. I was watching that game and then started to do my pregame. And all of a sudden, they came back. Pittsburgh came back and won it. That was a physical game that I was watching. They're going to be dinged up going into Thursday. Gerardo, I don't get if everybody knows Thomas will be targeted, why he doesn't get help from the safeties. There were instances where he was left alone on an island. That's for sure. Jan, the Falcons' wings were clipped. Yes, they were. William Bennett at Rob Shue, we the faithful appreciate you. as a fan, for the fans, bang, bang, Niner gang. Thank you. We, the faithful, appreciate you as a fan for the fans. I appreciate it. And William Bennett has become the newest member of the channel. He is a sneakerhead. It's official. Another sneakerhead, Joe Mama. Ambry got valuable experience today. He was never totally beaten. He just needs to work on locating the ball on jump balls, and he'll be solid. Just handwork, right? Last week, it was hands to the face twice. This time, his hands were there. Maybe he needs to continue in the weight room. That will continue to progress. His hands were there. He had that pick. Yes, Kyle Pitts took that away. That was a freak play by a freak athlete. He was there on all these plays. I find that to be encouraging. Silent Seth. Gage and Pitts were feasting on Ambry, but Thomas was never burnt, always hip to hip and fighting. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Emmanuel. Coming to rookies having valuable game time experience in certain games. Why the hell didn't Lance have at least one drive? One freaking drive. I'm not asking for the moon, Kyle. I agree in that I would have wanted a couple of snaps. Just a couple of snaps. I don't need an entire drive. I don't know that we were that dominant today that we could afford an entire drive. But you gave one snap to Debo to throw it into the end zone. You could have given that snap to Trey. I think that would be more beneficial going into the playoffs than Debo throwing that pass. Not that I have anything against Debo throwing a pass. Team Prez Productions can't complain about Jennings' drops. If that's the case, let's talk about Debo and Brandon's drops. Jennings is playing better than I thought. I'll take a few drops, but his play is great. I agree, his play is great. Josh Hutchins coming in. I don't care what anyone says. Wilson is a good runner, and he's showing it week after week. JT Conlon, hottest team in the NFL. The remaining games fare well going into the playoffs. Yes, it gets exciting for the 49ers looking forward. They have the opportunity to project themselves into the playoffs with some momentum. Lapacalolo, A++ for the whole team. Maybe not special teams, but the defense was tops. Those fourth down stops in the red zone twice, forget about it. That defense and juice. Love it, Paul M. Love it. Luke Walsh, a victory. Happy Bosa and Tart seem to be okay. Yes, that is big news. CT Law with the super chat. Do you think Grant has a problem with simple math? Jimmy, 6-1 last 7 games. He is pissed. Jimmy lost 1. I haven't heard Grant's rant on Jimmy recently. When I'm on the show on Fridays, I don't hear too much disparaging of Jimmy Garoppolo. I will say that while I understand that Jimmy is a polarizing topic, and I understand fans' frustration with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I understand people who argue that you gave up so much to go get Lance that you need to get him some playing time and make sure he's ready to go for next year. I don't understand anyone who criticizes Jimmy as being trash, who belittles him, who fails to acknowledge that he's somewhere in the 15 to 20 best quarterbacks in the league conversation. If he continues to play like this, that could move up into the 12 to 15 range. And I think you can make a very logical case for that. You can't make a logical case for Jimmy being trash. So I just don't get when anyone takes that extreme direction. I understand when they express their frustration. Believe me, I have some frustrations as well. Jan talking about, was that Robert Saleh out there as a D coordinator? I mean, it was a great game plan. Great. Really, really great. Luke pointing out that, yes, when teams win 2 phases of the game, they almost always win. Our special teams are so bad. All a mediocre team needs to beat us is to be better at one, offense or defense. Yeah, were we playing a team other than the Atlanta Falcons today, that initial fumble could have been brutal. Brutal. Man. Daniel, we are peaking at the right time. Yes, we are heading towards the playoffs. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Love that jacket. Me too. I really do. Eric Schultz, the Lions are winless no more. They take down the Cardinals. Hey, if you can lose to the Cardinals, you can lose to anyone. How about a little second half collapse by the Cardinals and winning out by our Niners, possibly getting us to win the NFC West? How wild would that be? Titans are dinged up and on a short week. Niners in better shape. Also, is Henry still out for Tennessee? I was looking that up this morning. It appears so. There's nothing certain, but he did not open his practice window this week. It would seem that week after next is the one where he'll be coming back. Archie, Kyle said he will be asking the league about that key sack flag. Good. I don't know what the league can say that would make me feel any better about it. It's just atrocious. Horrible rule is what it is. It's not the ref's fault. It's the rule's fault. The rule is terrible. They need to change it. Jesse, Kyle was in his bag with the play calling. I just wish he could involve Trey a little. Jesse, I'm with you there. And I just mean a little. I just mean a couple of plays just to give them something to think about. Steve-O, Trey wrist flicking 50-yard darts pregame, 1 or 2 plays. Too much to ask. That's what I'm talking about, Steve-O. Listen, this was a win. This was a win, and Jimmy played great. And we were able to get Debo one play that ended up being a wasted play of him trying to hit Brandon Ayuk on a toss, right? That could have been Trey, and that would add more value going into the playoffs, in my opinion. Or George coming in. We needed that one. I know you were pumped just like I was. Bang, bang, Niner game. I was so pumped, yelling at the screen consistently. Super chat from William Bennett, one of our sneakerheads. Remember, people said the same about mostly Thomas, just reps. I'm not sure I 100% follow. Okay, here we go. Jimmy's not trash, just limited. No, that's not in reference to it. Remember, people said the same about mostly Thomas, just reps, meaning that we needed to get reps for Thomas. We need to get reps for Trey as well. That's what I'm going to interpret it as, needing to get reps for Trey. If you meant something different, let me know, William. I'll bring it back in. But that's my interpretation, and I agree that we need to have snaps for Trey. It would give defenses something they would have to account for in the playoffs, something they would have to game plan around. Here we go. Silent Seth. If Philly beats Washington, our chances of making the playoffs are almost certain, just as long as we don't stink it up and lose out. We should be celebrating today, no matter who played well or not. Thank you. This is a celebration. We are happy. This is a big win. AJB in the house. Great win, faithful. Blowout. The Packers did in fact win. They seem to be headed for that number 1 overall seed. It really seems to be playing out that way. Giovanni, Super Bowl bound 49ers. Let us hope so. Let's hope the Niners can keep up this momentum. And the question, who's got it better than us? Nobody. Yes, indeed. Jan, forgot about Trey. That's been the story of the season. It has. Luke Walsh talking about the Titans. Titans lost, but their defense only played 75 plays. Thursday is going to be a bear flying 3 time zones. That's going to be a tough one. Short week, playing the Titans, physical team, a tough game. Matt Shug, late to the party. 3rd down defensive penalties. Special teams will be our end. Clean them up ASAP. But we're celebrating, Matt. We are celebrating the win. Agreed. We have some things to clean up. Debo Samuel, fan. Short week coming up. Did not support running Debo up the middle at the end of the game. So much could have gone wrong. So careless. I have to agree with that. It was definitely not what I was looking for to end the game at all. Luke Walsh correcting that it was Titans D only played 45 plays. I was going to say 75 would be a lot of plays for the defense. 45 is very few. That does set up for Tennessee's defense to be rested going into Thursday. Mosley, is he coming back? When's E-Man? When is E-Man hitting the streets? That's what I need to know. George, if the season ended today, who would we be playing against in the playoffs? Great question. Let us check. NFL playoff. If the season ended today, who would we be playing? I believe right now we would be playing the 3rd seed, Arizona, at the moment. Let us see. I want to check that for sure. I want to make sure that that's the case because that's the playoff machine that they've got in there. We're the 6th seed. No, Dallas is sitting in the 3rd seed right now. If it ended today, Arizona would be playing LA. We would be playing the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. But man, there's a lot of football left to be played. Things could change greatly going into the end of the season. It will flip-flop all over the place. The people from the 2nd seed through the 7th seed, all over the place. A lot of things could happen in between now and the end of the season. We could get the 4 seed. That is still possible, ladies and gentlemen. Still possible. Chester Gray, we had 4 straight scoring drives that looked really good. Sometimes we were moving the ball like nobody's business. Joe Mama with the super chat. Rob, do you think the quarterbacks should just have flags? At this point, any hard sack on a quarterback is a potential game changer for any team. Shaking my head. It's ridiculous, Joe Mama. Yes, it would be easier if the NFL just put flags on quarterbacks. That would be easier to officiate. I do not blame the officials for this one. I blame the NFL for a poorly written rule, a rule that is very difficult to officiate. What is Arden Key supposed to do in that situation? He literally dove before hitting Ryan. It was the dive that allowed him to get the sack. And in sacking Ryan, yes, falls down on him as gravity dictates you do in that situation. And that's a penalty. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I think correctly, well, maybe not correctly called, a bad call, but a worse rule, a far worse rule. That to me is the key. The NFL has to go in and redo the rule, make it easier to officiate. Because right now, it's terrible for defensive linemen. It's terrible for the game. We love watching quarterbacks get sacked. Are you kidding me? Sack lunch. Come on, bring it on, NFL. CT Law. Just my opinion. Trey is a backup. He was expensive, but nonetheless a backup. Hey, Kyle Shanahan agrees with you. And if you're interpreting Kyle Shanahan and his use of Trey Lance, then Trey's not ready to contribute. I agree wholeheartedly with Steve Young in that regard, that what Kyle is telling us through not playing Trey at all, not even getting him snaps in situational football, is that he doesn't believe he adds value in helping to win the game, that the game is more winnable when it's regulated by Kyle, closely managed by Jimmy, and fewer shot plays. I just worry that as we head into the playoffs and we play some of these more elite teams, there is no elite team in the NFC. It's a shootout to determine who's going to win this Super Bowl. But what I think is that we will need some explosive plays. And I just don't know that this offense, when you look at the number of 3-and-outs that can happen with this offense at times, I just don't know if we have enough in the tank without some explosive plays. That's why I'd like to work in Trey a little bit. William Bennett. Faithful, send super chat to my man Rob. He reads the chats and he is a fan. That's a fact. I am most definitely a fan. I appreciate everybody in the comments. I appreciate going through and interacting with fellow faithful. I find it to be an absolute joy. Scrolling back a little bit for some of the ones I missed. Short week coming up. Oh, no, we got to this one. We got to that one. All right, here we go, Emmanuel. I think William meant that people were bashing Mosley for his mistakes in his rookie year, and look at him now. So Ambry just needs reps. Okay, that's in the earlier comment that I may have misinterpreted. I like that. I am, whatever the interpretation was, I am all for Ambry Thomas getting a little bit of leash to run, right? He's going to make some mistakes. He's a rookie. He is a rookie, but that doesn't matter. He is still going to make some plays. He was in position. William Bennett clarifying. Typo, I meant remember people said the same about Mosley. Thomas just needs reps. Yes, he does. Sean 951, Thursday will tell us everything about this team. If we're going to ball in the playoffs, this game will be telling. I hope so. Everyone's going to be watching. It's Thursday night football. Night before Christmas Eve. Come on. Let's go Niners. Chester Gray, agree. Careless running Debo when there was no reason to. Just no reason. Just no reason. The Awesomes, I gotta disagree. Hard pass on this. Nobody say Mosley was weak. Thomas is trash. Hard pass on that. Giovanni, is Thomas already better than Josh Norman? I think it's pretty close at least. George, Someone was cutting onions by me when they showed the 2012 playoff game with Cap and Harbaugh. It brought back a little bit of memories. Last Second Sports, what's up, Jesse? That Cardinals loss right now is so huge. 49ers should be going for a division win to wrap up the season. Hey, it is still possible, but I agree, not very likely. The Cardinals would need to lose out. The 49ers would need to win out, and we would need to finish with the same or better record than the Rams as well. Sean 951, Bosa should eat against Tannehill. Let's hope so. He's a little more mobile than Matt Ryan, but not too much more. Not too much more. AJB, I'm telling you, I saw this. Look back at my receipts. AZ is going in the wrong direction, same as last year. I'm telling you, look back at my last videos when I talk about Arizona. Look back. Nick, oh yeah, ignore me. Top seed has a bye. Top seed does have a bye. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Aaron Paul, imagine if the 49ers just won one game versus Arizona, but they didn't, and it's okay. It's okay. It is okay. We will win in the playoffs regardless. Bizdak. I have a feeling Shanny will throw in 2 to 3 Trey plays in the playoffs, especially in the red zone. Man, I hope you are right. Man, I really hope you are right about that. That would be sweet, forcing the defense to account for something they haven't to this point. Emmanuel, Arizona lost and I'm sad, but I was sad since the start of the season because with 17 games, they wouldn't have the chance to finish another season 8-8. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. AJB, Thomas, going to learn soon. The rookie will progress. It is key he's getting these snaps. Hell, if he's going to get beat in a game, how about in a win over the Atlanta Falcons, where he was in position, where he was there to make plays, just unable to get the hand fighting down, just unable to secure the interception. A couple of tweaks with his hands, and that goes from a poor game to a great game. He finishes with an interception, with 2 pass breakups, right? So it's just a minor adjustment. That to me is totally different than being wildly out of position, looking lost out there, getting beat. He didn't look like he was getting beat. He was hip for hip. Aaron Paul, Arden Key is supposed to use his wings and fly. I believe I can fly. That was terrible. I apologize. AJB, Dallas defense, pretty good. Yes, that defensive line is getting back into form. Alex Franco, yes, very bad rule. The NFL needs to change that roughing the passer rule. It is atrocious. What are the guys supposed to do? Is it the worst rule in the NFL? I think so. I think so. Jan saying Key's just got to make his bed, gently lay Ryan down in it and tuck him in, and that's a sack. Boom. Easy. Easy. Emmanuel, roughing the passer rule should be changed into falling on the quarterback rule. Luke Walsh, if there was a no call on Key's roughing penalty, nobody on the broadcast would have said a word. Absolutely. It looked like a tackle. It looked like a tackle. I mean, it was so textbook. It's unbelievable. James is predicting it. Arizona won't win a game rest of the season. When you drop one to Detroit, you deserve a little bit of doubt. Isn't that true? I mean, they lost to Detroit. Rue, Jimmy, 2 seasons, 1 Super Bowl run, 1 playoff run. Stats are for losers. Rue is it looks like, I think I'm interpreting that as vastly behind Jimmy. And hey, I predicted that would be the case this year. I predicted Jimmy would start 16 out of 17 games with losing 1 to injury. So far, I'm looking like Nostradamus on that. AJB, let's hope the last game would have no meaning and Kyle starts Trey. I would rather be fighting for that playoff spot in week 17. In week 18, game 17. I really want to go in with positive momentum. Positive momentum. Nathan, Rob, do you think it's possible for the 49ers to win the division still if they win the rest of their games? It's not just I think. That is 100% fact. If the 49ers win the rest of their games, Arizona loses the rest of their games, and the 49ers finish with a better than or equal to record as the Rams, they would win the division in that case. All those things need to happen, but it could. David, if we win Thursday, do you see Trey playing against either the Texans or Rams? I don't. I think Kyle Shanahan is sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo. At a best case scenario, I think he's working in Trey Lance on a couple of plays, and that's a best case scenario. Emmanuel, well, Kyle was designing plays for Trey coming back from Fields Pro Day. Imagine if he wasn't. Best Trey play on Kyle's playbook on bench 5 right. Damn. Yeah, it seems like just a story at this point. That seems like just something that they told us to make us feel good about the pick. I mean, we shall see in the future. I have no doubt that the guy's going to be great. I just don't think we will see much of him, if anything, this year. And I think it's a miss. I think it's something we could add to the playbook that would help the 49ers potentially make a deeper run in the playoffs. And that's what I care about. I'm in full support of Jimmy Garoppolo and want to say he is playing phenomenally. Lee Ving, Lance is 21, 22 next season. Waste of his small cap number, but he has time. Agree, Lee. Absolutely agree. And I know he is attacking the preparation as Steve Young laid out a young rookie would need to in order to continue to progress while riding the bench. Giovanni, is Ambry already better than Norman? I think so, or at least equal to. He certainly doesn't get burned as much. He's not able to finish plays the way Norman is. He's not able to punch out balls the way Norman is, but he is hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder with the receivers far more often. Archie, Kyle said that he didn't want to take out the starters because of the last time he did and we lost. You're going to have to remind me of the last time we did and we lost in that one. Is he referring all the way back to Detroit and having the comeback when we took out the starters? TC 49er with a little outside flavor. Spider-Man was great. Niners win. Arizona loses again. Niner game on Thursday. Enjoy the week, people. Yes, that is something to celebrate. We got good movies. We got holidays. We got Niners winning. We got Niners playing again. Let's celebrate this. Let's be positive, faithful. Let's be positive. Jamie Bryant, a good team win. I have to give it to Jimmy G. He was clutch today. Yes, he was. Came through. When Jimmy's untouched, let's be honest, that's a big difference. 0 sacks today. Jimmy was clean. He got hit a couple of times, but he was clean for the most part. He was comfortable. He had all day. I talked about that. You knew Dante Fowler was the only pass rusher with more than 2 sacks for the Atlanta Falcons coming in. He only had 4.5 on the year. He was dinged up, almost couldn't go. The report from Ian Rappaport was that he wasn't going to go. He came in, he did force an errant throw, got in Jimmy's face, hit him hard, but no sacks for Jimmy G. He was able to deliver. James with a big prediction. 49ers won't lose a game rest of the year. Super Bowl, baby. Let's get this. Let's go. Let's get a little love like 94. Silent Seth. Turnover-wise, Norman is definitely better than Thomas. But coverage? Thomas is killing it with covering guys. He just needs to get them turnovers, and people will start taking him seriously. I agree. I agree with that. Not the big plays, but looking pretty solid for a rookie, if you ask my opinion, which I think most people are asking. Mark. Sup, Rob? What's up, Mark? How you doing? Mr. Fang. Great game, Niners. Yes, Mark celebrating the Lions. Yes, go Lions. Yes. Emmanuel, yes, Grant's dad did tweet during the game that Matt Ryan should retire. He does not like Matt Ryan, and I love it. Go follow Lowell Cone if you don't. I think it's a delightful follow on Twitters. On the tweets. The tweetsages. James coming in. Cowboys can be beat. They are let's say this about everyone in the NFC is beatable. Nobody is lights out at the top of the NFC. You telling me that the Packers aren't beatable? Highly beatable. You telling me the Bucks aren't beatable? Maybe less so, but still beatable. No question, everybody in the NFC is beatable, and the Niners are hot. Red hot. Joey, up 18 late. Would have preferred Kyle take a few snaps off the vets, Bosa, Ward, etc. Since we play Thursday again. Instead, he runs Debo as running back, as if he doesn't remember injury 3 weeks ago. It is confusing. I look forward to the post-game pressure on that one. Luke Walsh, what NFC team would you not want to get a playoff bye? I'm voting the Bucks. I agree, mainly because I don't want the Bucks to be the number 1 seed and have to fly all the way to Tampa after having to fly other locations. My top priority in the playoffs is less travel. It's why in the first round, I really hope we play LA or Arizona. In the second round, I would love to play Dallas. And then if you could play Green Bay in the NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field, you've minimized travel as best you can. The only thing better would be if you could play both LA and Arizona in the playoffs and then maybe Dallas. I would be happy with either of those scenarios. Minimize the travel. Those miles start to add up. A trip to Tampa Bay would be an unfortunate one. Chester agreeing on Thomas. Thomas was right in position on every play. It's just glaring because the bigger, better athlete just won in those situations. Yeah, and won every time today. So that does look bad, but again, was right there. Right there. Mark, time to talk about the Titans. They look beatable. Let's celebrate this one, but we got to move on to the Titans quick because it's frickin' Thursday that they're playing. Frickin' Thursday. Giovanni, do I think Bosa will break Aldon Smith's sack record? I do. I'm saying it right now. He's getting to 20. He's getting to 20. Leaving is not optimistic. Titans game is a scheduled loss. Thursday night from the West Coast. Team Niners play once every 3 to 4 years. Tough hill to climb. It is a similar tough hill for them in that they are playing the hottest team in the NFL. Joe Mama, you should do a stream with Jesse, Last Second Sports. I think you guys would make a great collab. We have done several. I've had him on the channel, I believe, twice, and I've been on his channel as well, but we'll make it happen again in the future. Appreciate that, Joe Mama. Sergeant H, this is not Jimmy's time. It should never have been Jimmy's time. It should have been Trey, no matter how many win-losses he had. That seems odd, Sergeant H. I'm interested to know why you feel that way. This feels like it is Jimmy's time. It feels like Trey's time is next year. Kyle Shanahan seems pretty dead set on it. I'm interested to know what the logic behind that theory is. Jamie, D'Amico Ryan's defense on fourth downs was stout. They made top plays when counted. But what an offense and defensive win. 8-6. Let's frickin' go. Yes. James, here's hoping the Rams do lose to the Seahawks. Randoni, special teams should get heavy attention next season. 3 or 4 games lost due to special teams. It is unreal the negative impact special teams have had on the 49ers. Unbelievable. Really is. I'm not throwing shade at Richard Hightower because I don't blame him entirely for this. Maybe I'm being too forgiving there. Let me know if I am being too forgiving there. Jamie, Key throws his hands up last sack so he would not get another roughing the passer call. That was funny. That was funny. Emmanuel with the appropriate naming, Shoestradamus. Felix, hey Shu, I've been watching your videos. I'm subscribing from Puerto Rico. All right. I hope my pronunciation of Puerto Rico there was okay. Felix, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you do like the content, I welcome you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so that you know when I go live. And if you want to join the channel and become a sneakerhead, I invite you to do that as well. Javier Rios is a sneakerhead. Prediction. If Jimmy ends up leaving next season, he's going to blow up and Trey falls. Makes me nervous. I'm not into the negative projection there. I do wish Jimmy the best wherever he goes. My feeling is potentially Pittsburgh. That is the... Ooh, look at this. Chester Gray agrees. I think Jimmy going to Pittsburgh is happening. Me too, Chester. That's where I have my mind set on. I think he's a good fit, and I will wish him the best. William Bennett, mark my words, Trey will be a playoff weapon. I really hope so. I think it would be such a tool for the 49ers. Sometimes they have wild success. They go on these 16, 17 play drives, and then other times they just drop off a cliff and they have all these 3 and outs. They need something. They need something to spark them when they get into that. Super chat from William Bennett. We get to see the Niners twice before Christmas. Yes, we do. One more time Thursday night. It's going to be a big one, a big showdown. It will tell us a lot about this team. Sean 951 coming in. What's up, Sean? Rob, Tart played a great game. Ward and Tart are a legit combo at safety. Warner and Arden Key were great. Mack had a great game. Juice was great. Jimmy G was good. Yes, this was a very complete team win, minus special teams. Minus special teams, offense and defense carried us 2 phases of the game. Tart was walloping people. Some great tackles out there all over the field. Jimmy Ward, his man-to-man coverage is essential in matchups like this. I am excited to go back and watch the tape. I agree. Those two are one of the most underrated safety combos in the league. Ward and Tart, underrated. 1,000% agree. 1,000% agree. Fred Warner rounding back into all-pro Fred form. Arden Key, what a pleasant surprise. Chris Kosarick, cheers to you and your ability to get more out of players who struggled elsewhere. So good. I didn't see Alex Mack creating a lot, but I also didn't see many plays where he was at fault in anything other than the one botched snap. Juice, always solid. So solid. Love it. All right, getting back into some of the comments here. All right, Archie. Horrible singing. Just kidding. But yes, I think it was Detroit. No need to say just kidding. That was horrible singing. Every now and then I can hit a note. That was not one of those times. I apologize for that. James, Arizona will lose to the Colts and Dallas and Hawks. Guaranteed. Rams lose Tuesday night and lose the 49ers last game. We win the division and maybe top seed of the NFC. What do you say, Rob? James, I love your optimism. I am on board with this. Do I think it's entirely realistic? Probably not, but it's possible. And as long as it's possible, we can have hope. We can dream. All we need to do is focus on winning this week. Control what the 49ers have in front of them. And that's Thursday night against the Tennessee Titans, a winnable game. Chester Gray, don't take your foot off the gas in the NFL. Crazy stuff happens. Archie, DJ is killing it. DJ Jones. DJ Jones. Yes, there it is. DJ Jones hot sauce, barbecue sauce. Big Dave's barbecue sauce. You know I support it. The portion of the proceeds go to charity. I get nothing out of supporting it other than a thrill in supporting Big Dave's barbecue sauce. The Dark Azrael asking, who gets the game ball? Damn fine question. Damn fine question. I mean, I'll tell you what, I would be tempted on defense to give it to Arden Key. I mean, he should have had that sack with that atrocious call on him, should have had the second sack, had multiple quarterback hits, was disruptive the entire game. So on defense, I might lean that route just because it's an unexpected contribution. On offense, you've either got to look at Jimmy G, Kittle, or Debo, right? One of those three would probably deserve the game ball on offense. Jimmy G just very efficient. I might go George Kittle, man, to follow up 250-yard games with another 93-yard game, 6 receptions. The way he was shedding tacklers. I mean, just a grown man. Grown man. Mark, yes, Lowell was right about Matty Ice. He probably should retire at this point. The Falcons are in the middle of a rebuild. Lewis, I don't think nobody can beat us. We just beat ourselves. So true. The 49ers cannot continue to shoot themselves in the foot. They need to improve in that area because when they play efficiently, they can beat anybody. The defense balling out. AJB agreed. Those goal line stops were epic. Emmanuel, D'Amico was great today. I just want to see him enter Salah hype mode from now on when defense makes big plays. He does get fired up on some of those big plays. He does. TC 49er, Grant asked Debo if he designed his sweater and are they for sale? He a fan for sure. Hey, I'm a fan too. Absolutely. Silent Seth. Hey, Rob, does that barbecue sauce or hot sauce taste good? It is delicious barbecue sauce. Forget what I said about hot sauce. It is barbecue sauce. There are 2 types. Very good. I got some extras. I'm going to give them away. I'm just going to do a giveaway and mail them out to some folks on the channel. So Silent Seth, maybe you'll get one from me in the future. All right, looking at the comments. Here we go. Giovanni, Rob, don't know why, but I can picture you as a Niners assistant coach. Make the call, Giovanni. Get on the phone with Kyle Shanahan and get me an interview. I'll tell you, I'll knock that interview out of the park. Jimmy G to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. LOL. I'm a straight up trade. I'm sure they'd do it. James, 4 teams from the NFC West get in, which is good for us. Hopefully, all advance, and we play a home game against the Rams or Seahawks. Let's freaking go. Kings of football, 49ers. Wouldn't that be epic? At the beginning of the year, I predicted the entire NFC West would finish within 2 games of one another. It's still possible. Thomas, the only thing I blame Hightower for is not being prepared for a desperate Seattle team. At 9-5, we might be talking division, and the Seahawks would have been finished. That's fair, Thomas. Although, honestly, I didn't predict it. I didn't scream out, prepare for it, so I don't know that I can fault him. At that point in the field, in field position, so early in the game, it was just a great play call by Pete Carroll and his special teams coordinator. Nard, it's been a while since we had someone from special teams who can return it to the house. Yeah, what, since Ted Ginn? But that was when we had dedicated members of the Tony Montana squad, and that was legit. That was special teams won us some games in 2011, 2012. Now we lose games because of special teams. We got to address it. It's a personnel issue in my book. Leaving. Kittle looked great again, and Wilson looks like his burst and power are coming back. I really hope so, because that would make a huge difference for the 49ers. Cash flow. Chris. Dope jacket, Rob. Go Niners from Arizona. We got AZ in the house. Thank you, Cash flow, Chris. I'm a big fan of the gold jackets as well. George Bailey. I hate Seattle, but let's not overlook them. They have an easy schedule ahead. They could potentially find themselves in the playoffs. How wild would that be? Again, a lot of things can change in between now and the end of the season. Mark, how about Jeff Wilson Jr. for a game ball? I'm down. The guy averaged 5.2 yards per carry, got above 100 yards rushing, 21 carries, 110 yards, some hard-fought yards in there. I would have liked to have seen him carrying the ball at the end and not Deebo Samuel, but that is me nitpicking a win. James, you're a great fan, Rob. You make me feel proud being a 49ers fan. Let's go, faithful. Cheers to you, James. That's a very kind thing you're passing along there. Elvin correctly calling out, we do need the corners to step up. Outside corner is weak for us. If we go back up against a team like the Packers or the Buccaneers, we are going to need some increased play from Josh Norman, from our rookie Ambry Thomas. Instead of just being hip to hip, he's going to need to make those plays with his hands. Or the return of E-Man, Emmanuel Mosley. Archie checking out for the night but wants to be woken up when it's Thursday. I hope you can sleep for 72 hours straight, because we all want it to be Thursday right now. William Bennett, I would give the ball to Wilson Jr. He made big runs when needed and put the game away and ran out the clock. Look at the run for 16 yards in the end zone. I thought he had a great game. Really great. Dirk, this is what happens when Kyle doesn't get cute. Stick with our identity. Run first team. Run it down their throats, Kyle. That's our identity. Play solid defense. Win the time of possession. We won the time of possession. It was not overly convincing. I want to say we ended up with 30 and change for time of possession. Yeah, 30-27 for time of possession. But a win of time of possession is a win of time of possession, and that comes from running the ball. That's the key. ULK new in the building, hitting that like button. I appreciate it. Amplifying the signal again. James, secondary is weak. We got to blitz more, get pressure on the QB. The secondary is weak. Therefore, though, I think we need more pressure from the front four so that we don't have to blitz as much, so we can keep more back in coverage. I want Fred Warner in coverage more than I do want him blitzing the quarterback, even though I do wish he had a few sacks this season. Sean 951 with the super chat. Rob, we go to the Super Bowl, my house Super Bowl party. You be there. I would broadcast from there live, but we would be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, that would be the reality. Sean, you and I would be there at SoFi Stadium rocking, and then we'd do the post-game party broadcast from your house there in Southern California. Let's do it. AJB, Michnowski all of a sudden can't hit touchbacks. Is he hurt? I think he struggled with that for a while, but now he is very consistent in missing the end zone. He cannot kick a touchback on kickoffs to save his life. I don't know. He may be dinged up. He may. Harold is grilling steak and cheering on the Niners. That sounds like a good freaking night to me. Jan, yes, the Niners are on the upswing at the perfect time. End of the season. End of the season. Victor's a little concerned. Secondary is weak. It will get exposed by Rodgers, Brady, and even Dak. Not if we can sack the hell out of them. Not if we can sack the quarterback and get after him. At that time, it won't matter quite as much. It's the 49ers strategy. Build the defensive line out to the point where you can cover up for weak or underachieving cornerback play. War Chiefs is just in here to cheer on the Niners. Let's go. Juan, Niners 2022 Super Bowl champions. Let's make them 2021 Super Bowl champions while we're at it. Juan, how about it? Here we go. Corners and safeties are always our problem. I think our two safeties are a legit pairing right now. I am loving the veteran presence of Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt. I'm loving the rookie enthusiasm of Talanoa Hufanga. Ooh, this one's at AJB. That's a side conversation. Have a good day, y'all. See you later. Silent Steph, thank you for coming in and hanging out. Jaguaya coming in. Hello, Rob. I am glad that Shanahan has gotten his team to believe in each other. Jimmy playing at 2019 level. Great defense. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. The 49ers just gave us a hell of a gift. See if they can't double that up with a win on Thursday night. That would be huge going into Christmas. To get that W on Thursday. I'm just happy about tonight against Atlanta. A very good game, a very good team win, overcoming mistakes by the special teams unit. Who cares? We are winning. Giovanni, am so happy with Niners win. I'm going to treat myself to White Castle sliders. There you go. Have yourself some good. I think I might do sushi tonight. I might be celebrating with some sushi. A nice, I'd go pizza, but I had pizza last night. So, you know, probably going to have to go with something else. Maybe a little healthier. Maybe a little sushi. Emmanuel coming in. Kyle's words on not resting the starters mean that, in his opinion, backups are trash. I can't see another explanation. And just to quote a famous Italian-speaking English, I'm not agree. Well, I think that you're right, that he's not showing faith in the backups by continuing to play the starters at the end of the game like that. It is questionable. It is questionable, but it was a win, and nobody did get injured, which is fortunate. Thank you. Knock on wood for that one. James, 49ers should play deep zone. Can't give up the big play. Just wheel them in the red. Just win them in the red zone. That's where we will win the defensive battle. Tell D'Amico Ryans that to play it safe no matter what. We're good in the red zone. Okay, so I like that. James, I like that we play a little looser back, two high safeties, keep everything in front of us, and then play tight in the red zone is what I'm taking out of that comment. And I agree that is where the 49ers defense has been phenomenal when it gets in close there. When it gets in close in the red zone. I heard you, Sean. I heard what you meant. Super Bowl party Saturday. Go to the game Sunday. We'll have some victory cigars waiting for us Sunday night. That would be good. Sean, faithful. Today was expected. Thursday is the game of heart. We come out there in Eastern Wilt with a win. NFL on notice. Hope week 18 doesn't matter. Rest the starters and let Lance play the Rams. However it turns out, I'll take the win today. The fact that it greatly increases the 49ers' chances of making the playoffs, and I think we are that team nobody wants to see. AJB, great win and great show. Thank you, AJB. See you guys Thursday, and on your way out, smash that like button. Appreciate the shout out, AJB. We will be back Thursday. We will be back tomorrow night with a show at the usual time. 4 p.m. Be here on the channel. I love it. I love it. Frank calling out, yeah, Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt been on the same team since high school. It's crazy. It is crazy. Elvin, no. Should we pull the plug on Thomas? I know he's a rookie, but he's constantly getting burnt. No, he didn't get burnt. He just couldn't make the play. He was there, though. So, no, I say do not pull the plug on him. Allow the rookie to learn. Jeff, Debo to the house. Niners Nation. User God, yes. Thanks for the show, Rob. You are very welcome. Jan, encouraging folks to hit that like button on the way out. James, Jennings has to play a big role to make a run to the Super Bowl. We need complete games from Brandon Ayuk. We need to be able to spread the ball. So, yes, I agree. Having that third wide receiver option in Juwan Jennings and what he brings to the table as far as run blocking goes, huge. We need Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Debo Samuel to consistently get more catches together to where they're all contributing in a single game. That's what's going to be required to make a big run in the playoffs. I think we can do it, Niner faithful. This was a huge win against Atlanta. Yes, we were expected to win it. Yes, we did win it. That's what good teams do. You play the team they put in front of you. The 49ers did that against Atlanta. This is setting them up for a great finish to the season. Got to go handle business on Thursday. We will be back this week. Fewer shows because of Christmas. Absolutely will be a few less shows because of Christmas, but I will keep you updated on Twitter as to when I'm going live. You can always subscribe and hit the notification button to know when I go live, when it's unplanned, when I just come up with a show or reschedule. That's the best way to get notified. Thank you, everyone, for being on the stream today. I appreciate you all. I'm glad that we were here to celebrate the Niners winning. Cheers to you, 49er faithful.